There are wealthy authors who have a literary agent and a team of publicists, marketing and advertising specialists, and basically everything they need to drum up interest in their books. And then there's the indie author, like me. I'm Paula Jones. I use my middle initial professionally, Paula L. Jones, and I'm an indie author from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Being an indie author means I am my own literary agent, publicist, and marketing and advertising specialist. I spent a lot of hours calling business owners around the city to see if they'd be interested in hosting one of my book signings at their location. And I finally had success. The Louisiana Art and Science Museum agreed to let me read one of my children's books, The Invisible Dancer, to kids during their story hour, and then hold a book signing. They said they'd even carry some of my books in their gift shop, which is amazing. So I'm thrilled to have finally partnered with a great place for an author event. Now I just hope people actually show up and that my body cooperates. You see, I also struggle with a few incurable autoimmune illnesses that get in the way of everyday life. I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes in 2020. And that's the type of diabetes that you're born with and does not ever go away. Even if you eat healthy and exercise, it's different from type 2 diabetes. So every morning, evening, and basically every time I eat, I have to check my blood sugar and make sure it's not too high or too low, because either extreme can be deadly. This morning, it's not terrible, just a tad high. So I inject myself with a little tiny bit of insulin. And then I do my terribly unmanageable hair, and then I get going. The museum is about 15 minutes away, and I end up getting lost, of course, when I try to find parking, because I am very directionally challenged. Finally, I find a spot on the street because for the life of me, I can't find the entrance to visitor parking. So I just park like in front of the museum and then hurry into the place to set up. Now, usually the items that I bring to book signings are, first of all, the books that I'm going to sell. Secondly, a poster or a sheet of paper that's, like nicely, I don't know, it looks nice, but it has like a QR code to all of my books on Amazon so that people can just hold their phone up to the paper or poster and then they can purchase my other books online if they want to. I also usually bring a sign-in sheet where people can add their name and email address, and then I will add them to my fan list and email them every time like a big event or something happens. But today I forgot to actually bring my sign-in sheet. Another thing I usually bring is a table, and then last but not least, a pen or Sharpie to sign books. I usually also bring like a card for the proprietor who's letting me do the book signing event, but I forgot to bring that as well too, so I'll have to send a card later. Everything went pretty well during the book signing. The only downsides were that I did forget my table, and that's because the other downside, I started getting sick. See, this is what happens when you have like chronic illness. It rears its ugly head at the most inconvenient moments. And I was trying to hide it, but I could tell I was about to pass out. So only after about an hour of being there, my vision started blurring and I started feeling really, really dizzy. So I hurried up and just moved as quickly as I could and tried not to panic. And I didn't tell anybody because I didn't want to be like making a big deal out of it. But I left and I left my table there. So I'll have to try and go back and get my table. But I think in retrospect, one thing, if there's anything I would have done differently, first of all, I would have brought the sign-in sheet so that I could get email addresses to add more emails to my fan list. And I would have brought a card, like a thank you card, for the people who arranged for the book signing, because I'm very grateful to them. And when you're an indie author, it's really important to have dependable people in your local community who you can kind of turn to and partner with so that you can hold book signing events and at their locations, and so you can support them when they need support as well. So yeah, a good way to make those relationships or to keep them healthy is to show appreciation when they do, when they're kind enough to let you hold an event at their location. Also, I must say that I did not make much money from this event. And that's okay, because these book signings, they're not always just about making money, but they're also about putting your name out there and getting your books out to the public. So even though it wasn't like hundreds of people there were a good bit of families and parents with their kids there. So I feel like I was able to spread the word more about my books. And I did have a couple of people buy them. And the people who work at the museum also showed some interest in the books too. So even though, it wasn't incredibly lucrative monetarily, I feel like it was lucrative in other ways. So that is it. Basically, it was a pretty good day. Afterwards, I just kind of got something to eat to get my blood sugar back up. And then I will just spend the rest of the day chilling and trying not to die. That sounds morbid, but, well, it's kind of true. All right, thanks for watching. Until next time.